Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Highlands Performance Golf Center, North Dallas's premier golf practice facility with over 65 grass tees, 2 practice putting surfaces, a short game area, and an 18-hole mini golf course. With covered and heated tees, it's the best place to practice your game year-round. The Highlands Performance Golf Center is located in Carrollton on Trinity Mills, in between Marsh and Midway. Give them a call at 972-733-4111 or check them out on the web at highlandspgc.com. Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of America's favorite golf podcast. We are from the rough, live from the FanStream Sports DSP Media Podcast Studios in sunny North Dallas. I'm IndyCarTim, joined alongside Mr. John Gerber, Mr. PGA Tour professional extraordinaire, mini tour player.
There we go again. New year, but same title, right?
Dude, I almost forgot to open to this show.
I thought you were going to try to change, the title. 2023, and Happy New Year to everyone out there. 2023, I figured you'd get it right by now, but you're not starting off real great.
That's your fault.
Starting off great for you.
Your expectations for me are way too high for 2023.
There we go. I agree with you. I agree.
So what's been going on? We haven't done a show since 2019, it feels like.
Yeah, it feels like a long time. There's that little, the PGA Tour doesn't really have too much of a break anymore, like what they're going to have next year, or this coming 2023 season. But they had a little bit of a break. Sometimes takes us a little time. We want to recharge the batteries, and family, friends, and new shows that we have, and new business things we have with FanStream Sports and DSP Media. So we thought we'd take a little bit of time off, get refreshed, and get back and better with a little bit more candy winning for everybody in 2023.
We're all about the candy. So for those of you that have been watching but have not been participating, it's 2023. As Johnny mentioned, it's a brand new year. It's a new golf season. You might as well start following right now so you can start winning. We're going to preview the Sentry Tournament of Champions show here, or tournament here in a little bit. We've got a few things to get to, some house cleaning items, and just a reacquaintance with each other. I don't ever talk to Johnny. We never see each other unless we're doing a show. So I forgot what he looked like.
That's not true. That's not true.
Except for last night, or night before last.
Yeah. Well, I was with you last night? The night before last?
Well, somebody was.
Well, it wasn't me. I don't remember that.
But we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming season before we get into the actual tournament preview. But like I said, if you are new to the picks, to the gambling game, and you were sort of paying attention to Johnny's picks from last year, and by the way, big time winner. If you were following Johnny, do you have the numbers for yourself for last year?
Yeah, last year wasn't our best year that we've had. We started doing this about 3 years ago with our systems that we use, and the handicap system. That we'll talk about that as the year goes along, and why I think about these picks and how much I study. But 2 years ago, when we really first started getting on there and giving all these picks out, we're just shy of under $70,000 net profit. These are documented. We put them out on Twitter. I show through our gaming site, one of our old sponsors, I'm not going to mention the name, that these are documented. I show every one of my picks. I put it up. But last year, it was a little down year for us compared to the first year we really did this, but we were still plus $26,740 units, however you want to say it, profit for the year. And in our matchups, and what we do with our matchups is after the first couple rounds, we match up players one-on-one and to make a little bit more money. And last year we were 103-56 in our matchups. So listen, these are documented numbers. These are documented, profitability, and looking forward to a better year this year than we had last year.
So for those of you not familiar, when we preview every tournament that we do here on From the Rough, Johnny at the end of the preview will give his picks. He will give 3 winners, kind of like a long shot that we call the ham sandwich pick. He will do 2 or 3 top 10s, 2 or 3 top 20s, and it's a system. You can't cherry pick what you want to, who you want to pick with them. You have to follow the system is how you make money. And if you haven't done it before and you're interested, might as well start now because it's a new year. We'll have picks for the Sentry for you coming up. And we post them every Wednesday on Johnny's Twitter feed. He is at J Gerber PGA Pro. The show is at From the Rough PGA. I am at IndyCarTim, or you can go over to at DSP Media Online to find his picks every Wednesday, or go back and look at some of the old ones. We make a nice little graphic for you there that makes it easy for you to figure it out.
They can certainly get on the FanStream Sports app also, right, to get everything in.
Well, when we have that, yeah.
So that's coming soon, guys. Like I said, as we started the show, a great collaboration with our great partners, JP Peterson in Tampa, to collaborate together on the FanStream Sports app television show coming soon. So we got a lot of great things coming forward in 2023 with DSP Media.
And a new partnership with a new sponsor, also out of the Florida area, Turf Life. Go over to turflife.club for now until we fix that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. The website will be the same. They got some cool apparel over there. Anything dealing with sports or businesses that deal with turf, grass, whatever. So, obviously the major sports, football, soccer, golf, tennis, anything that you could play on grass and probably not hockey.
I don't think it's turf.
That would be Ice Life, right?
Yeah, that'd be called.
Ooh,
something
maybe I
besides
need to start Ice
and
Life.
to give everybody a little quick thing on Turf Life. If you just go to their website and send Terry Purdom a message, because if you've never talked to her, you've never Googled her. She is a pillar. She's owns Golf Central magazine, which is a great magazine that we're doing some partnerships with. And she is a firecracker. She is one of the most interesting, beautiful, inner soul people that I've ever met in my life. And all the success, anything that she touches turns to gold. Turf Life is the same. Golf Central magazine's been around for 27, 28 years. So check out that magazine. We're going to have an article every month in Turf Life magazine, or in Golf Central magazine, along with our partnership with Turf Life. But send Terry a contact, an email. She loves to talk to people, and we're lucky to have her going in business with her in 2023.
It's going to be an exciting year, not just for From the Rough, as our little show continues to grow in popularity and in significance in the golf world, but also for our network, as we've partnered, like Johnny said, with FanStream Sports and DSP Media. Could not be happier moving forward with all of our great shows on the network. Make sure you go to dspmediaonline.com. Check out all of our great shows, all the college shows, the pro football, everything over there. We've got some pop culture entertainment stuff over there, and we're really, really excited moving forward. So let's get into a little bit of golf, Johnny.
Yes, sir.
As we've burned enough time here, tooting our own horn. So I wanted to start with CBS came out with this list this week that I saw headed into the Sentry, and they've got their picks for the most underrated golfers in the world heading into 2023. And I wanted to see what your thoughts are on these. This is from Kyle Porter over there. I love his work over at CBS Sports, by the way. He's a really good dude.
Really good, yeah.
Need to try to get him on the show. If maybe he'll let me come on his show.
Maybe.
I doubt it. But so he's got 7 guys here that I wanted to talk about a little bit and get your thoughts. The first guy that he's got is one of the most underrated golfers in the world heading into 2023. And I didn't realize this guy was underrated.
Has he ranked him? Is he going from
yeah, you want to go number 7 first? We'll go number 7.
Yeah, seven going forward. So he thinks is the most underrated.
So number 7 is Jon Rahm.
He thinks Jon Rahm's underrated?
So his narrative here is another strange name I know to have on this list, but not positive. Everyone understands just how elite Jon Rahm is. He basically wins 3 times a year, every year without fail, and his strokes gain numbers are astonishingly consistent between 2 and 2.4 and 5 of the last 6 seasons. One of these years, the luck will fall his way a bit, and he'll win 5 times, including a major or 2. He doesn't know if that's going to be in 2023, but he said just his statistical profile, it's easy for me to say, suggests that he's going to win at some point, but he thinks going into 2023, Jon Rahm is the number 7 most underrated player.
Okay.
Again, I feel like he's a pretty prominent. A lot of these guys, excuse me, a lot of these guys are pretty prominent players. There's maybe 2 on here that I would probably agree with for sure.
I don't know what he's trying to say. Like I said, I like his stuff, but what is he trying to say with his characteristics? How many times is John Rahm? He wins 3 times a year. Is that underrated? Does he have to win 6 times? I mean, I don't know what that means.
Well, for instance, he opened the article. It says, depending on where you look, most players are properly rated, but there's always those who are either a bit overrated because of recent conquests or a bit underrated because it's been a while since they raised a trophy, or maybe for other reasons. He says he put this list of players together, the underrated by the golf community heading into 2023. It's not meant to be a list of players who have an equal chance of doing something great in 2023, but rather a list of players he believes will, over the next 12 months, perform at a level beyond current expectations.
Yeah, I think to get over that threshold a little bit for Rahm, he's got to win a major, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
That's just one of those things that kind of puts you and propels you to that different level. So maybe that's where he was getting to a little bit, his expectations, because his major championship success when it comes to wins isn't very good.
Well, he's on the precipice of that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
you would think.
Family life kind of got in the way the last couple of years. Maybe that he's had his second kid, so maybe that kind of puts him in that underrated category.
Yeah.
His obligations are a little bit more at home, but the tour life is a lot easier than it was 10, 15 years ago with all the, you can travel with your family. But
right.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe that was the idea that he has, just because he hasn't, fared as well as he thought in the majors.
Number 6 on the list, Johnny, Matthew Fitzpatrick. He says, perhaps my favorite stat in golf is that Fitzpatrick has improved his strokes gained each of his last 11 seasons. That is remarkable and not something I imagine has happened very often. The result is that he has turned into, along with Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele, one of the most complete players in the world. He gained at least 0.38 strokes per round in each of the last 4 major categories last season, and is the caliber of a ball striker now that he's going to probably be approaching the number 1 player in the world.
Yeah, that stat itself is a little bit misleading. When the reason I say that is because Matthew Fitzpatrick probably in I would say a 12-month span has increased his driving distance by more than anyone on the PGA Tour, a little over 20 yards, just by getting fit. So when you do that, you have an opportunity to have shorter clubs into the green, so your stats approach the tee to green is going to be better. Ideally, it's going to be better. If it's not, you're in trouble. I mean,
right.
It's easier to hit the green with a 9-iron than it is when you have a 6 or 7-iron in your hand. So it's a little bit misleading, just because his progression of distance that he has gained off the tee is immense and bigger than anybody on the PGA Tour.
Number 5 on his list, Will Zalatoris. He says, again, I'm not sure the number 7 in the player in the world can be considered underrated, but Zalatoris' ball striking has been so good. Number 1 in the world in 2022, and he's had so many near misses, 9 top 5s in 2021 through 2022, but just 1 victory that he has to be on this list. He could win 3 times in 2023, and nobody would be surprised.
Yeah, it's a little bit like you don't know how his health has been, right? So,
right.
He had to stop the majority of last year in the fall just because of health issues. He hurt his back, and he hasn't really came back. Did the right thing, in my opinion. Took the time off, got healthy, didn't really press the issue to get refreshed and ready for 2023. So there's a little bit unknown with Will Zalatoris, but if he's healthy, you look at a guy there's another guy on my list that I think is probably going to be player of the year, in my opinion, but we'll see. Zalatoris is definitely a guy we'll look for.
Number 4, Colin Morikawa, your guy.
Pass.
You absolutely adore him. I know you think.
Why could you have just not? You're doing this shit.
One of the more popular players in your book, right?
Yeah, popular.
Most personality. Colin Morikawa at number 4. This is a strange name to have on the list, considering he's a 2-time major champion and one of the most prolific early career winners on the PGA Tour in its history. Still, there was some angst during the back half of 2022 about Morikawa's lack of wins. This happens often when top players come into a given year off an incredible run and fail to win a tournament. But nobody should panic about his game. Consider that he's ranked in the 6th in the world in ball striking in 2022, and the 2 players below him and 5 above him combined for 18 wins.
Here's a rub with Morikawa, and it's a weird stat people don't really realize. He is the worst win player in the world. When it's windy, he can't play golf.
Really?
No, it's a weird stat. I know people just don't want to listen. He is the worst win player on the PGA Tour.
Why does that happen?
He likes to hit that cut. He tried to change his golf swing a little bit to get a little bit more distance to hit it right to left, but he went back to hitting the cut. The spin off his shots gets a little crazy in the wind. He's not a low ball hitter. He's a high ball hitter. So, I know it sounds crazy, but if he's not the worst win player on the PGA Tour, he's one of the worst. So That's one of
That's
the
crazy.
stats that I look into when I do my handicapping when it comes to weather when he's in the field. Because if it's calm, you know, the guy's incredible. He doesn't miss a lot of golf shots. So you know, I always look at that one. He's not on our board a lot.
Yeah.
When we handicap these events.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's underrated. I'm not really sure. I mean, you know, he lacks distance to really dominate the PGA Tour like some of these younger guys going to do, but he makes it up for his ball striking. But if it's windy conditions, he struggles.
Number 3 on the list, legitimately one of your guys, Keith Mitchell. You like Keith Mitchell?
I do. I like Keith Mitchell a lot, but he's just, you know, you just don't know if Keith wants to play. Right. I mean, he's so talented, this guy. He's one of those guys on the range, kind of like Johnny Vegas. You walk down the range and you don't even have to watch him. You can hear the difference. He's one of those guys. The ball striking is really different. And he makes a different sound. But, you know, he doesn't have a lot of grind or a lot of dog in him. You know, you look at this guy, you think he should win, you know, 2 or 3 times a year minimum just by his ability, and he just doesn't seem to. So, yeah, I like the underrated part. Ability and skill-wise, he's spot on with the underrated.
Kyle Porter says, you count the number of drivers that are better than Mitchell on one hand. It's John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, Cameron Young, Sung J M, and that's about it. Yeah. Obviously, driving doesn't lead to victories, but with all the focus on distance in the modern PGA Tour game, it's a skill that when you're better than almost everyone in the world at, you're going to contend for some tournaments. Mitchell put up 6 top 12s in 2022 and improved his tee to green game overall. If that happens again in 23, he's probably going to snag a victory.
Yeah, and it's a guy he's going to win once a year, but you think he should win 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Just talent-wise.
Number 2, Aaron Wise. Porter says he's been a sexy, this guy could be on the U.S. Ryder Cup team next year pick over the last few months, but there's plenty of evidence to back that up. Wise is a tremendous ball striker who seemingly solved his putting woes in 2022. It resulted in 5 top 15 finishes, including at big boy events like the CJ Cup and the Memorial. Similar to M, he's improved statistically in 3 of his last 5 seasons, and the 2023 in which he wins a few times and gets himself to Rome is not out of the question.
Yeah, a little similar. Like the guy's super talented, but he seems to falter in the 4th round. I think his 4th round scoring average is one of the worst on the PGA Tour. So he gets there early. So, you know, we don't really jump into on the betting side to like 1st round leaders or things like that. But he's one of those guys, 1st and 2nd round. He's always on top of that leaderboard. And it seems like he always falters, especially in the 4th round. Like I said, I think his 4th round scoring average is one of the worst on the PGA Tour. So what is that? Is that mentality, or he just can't get he's just no dog, doesn't get the job done? I don't know. But underrated for sure. I mean, again, he's one of those guys. It's a superior ball striker out there. But just, you know, it's hard to win. It is hard to win. And it really is. But when you have that much talent, you know, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but underrated. I think he's well spotted on the list.
In the number 1 on his list, and he's been mentioned several times alongside other players on the list, Sung J M. Arguably the best player in the world who didn't win anywhere in 2022. He put together 3 runner-up finishes, 6 other top 12 finishes, and had the best strokes gain number 1.6 of any golfer who did not have a victory in 2022. At just 24 years old, good God, I didn't realize he was that young, or I forgot.
Yeah.
He still has room to grow, too. He's improved statistically in 6 of his last 7 seasons, and I think he wins 1 to 3 times in 2023 and contends for at least 1 major championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guy that just loves to play golf. Right? How many days are in a year?
365.
I think he plays 370 days a year. I think that's what he does. I mean, all this guy does is play golf.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, he didn't have a place forever, which a lot of people just don't have places. But he would play every PGA Tour event, and he has a superior. His ball striking is incredible. Golf swing is incredible. So, yeah, that's spot on as number 1. We have him on our card this week. So
is that right? Yep.
So,
all right. Well, very good. There's your most underrated players. I thought now before we get into the Sentry preview, I thought we would pick our winners for the majors.
yeah. Oh, great.
How do you feel about that?
I feel good.
You think you've got those on? You got those ready to fire off?
Well, didn't I pick 2 of the 4 majors last year?
I think you did.
I did.
I didn't give you time to prep on this though,
That's
so
okay.
it's gonna be coming off the top of your head.
I don't need to prep.
And I will give you my picks because I did prep this a little bit. Actually, I did it 2 weeks ago when I thought we were going to do a show.
Are you? How many picks are you going to give me? You going to give me one so we can just cross that off, or
how many do you want?
Well, I don't know because every time you pick something that doesn't work.
I've got 2 picks for each major.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
How's that?
Okay.
All right. So let's go with first on the calendar year coming up here, April 6th through 9th. This year they're playing it at Augusta.
They certainly are. They certainly are.
Is it not time to rotate that tournament yet? I mean,
never.
It's just all. I'm just kidding.
Well, the funny part is you say that, but the golf course plays different every year. So
it does.
It's not like it's the same golfer. They lengthen it. Every year they lengthen it, and the weather, in that area in the springtime can be spotty. So it never plays the same every year.
Sure. So my 2 picks, and these aren't long shots or anything. I didn't do a ton of homework, and me, I'm sort of a golf novice at all of this anyway when it comes to other people's games. My 2 picks for one to win the Masters this year is Xander Schauffele and Jon Rahm.
Okay. I mean, they're not terrible picks. Yeah, I mean, they definitely set that they're definitely in that category of how that golf course plays in their game. Xander Schauffele hits it a lot further than what people think. He's a good ball striker. And same with Jon Rahm. They have the length. The golf course that people don't realize with Augusta is, man, you have to drive. One of the biggest attributes you have to have there, you have to drive the ball far. And especially now, as much as they're lengthening it, you have to be a long. When's the last short hitter you ever seen win the Masters? I mean, Zach Johnson maybe, but
a long time ago.
The weather was terrible. He laid up on every par 5, so the elements really played a part. But it's definitely a bomber's place. I look at a guy like Cam Young, maybe, that has potential, second year on the PGA Tour. I'm real high on Cam Young this year. I think he has potential to be, PGA Tour Player of the Year, kind of on the same mold what Scotty Scheffler did last year, rookie on the PGA Tour. This is Cam Young's second year on the PGA Tour, knowing the golf courses, and he has the length way. Playing on that big stage is really going to have help Cam Young. So look for Cam Young. I put Cam Young down to win
all right,
the Masters.
All right. You want to do a second one, or are you just going with that one?
I only need one.
You only need one. Look at you. I love that confidence. That
I only
swag,
need one.
man.
Well, I mean, listen. Why do I need more than one?
No, you don't, because you're confident.
That's right.
You know what you're talking about.
I
probably should have had 10.
Well, probably all of them. You should send them all a letter, the ones that you pick, and say, I'm sorry that you will not be winning Augusta this year, sirs.
Yes, because I picked you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I wish you would have picked Morikawa.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Yeah.
That'd help me.
By the way, once again, the Masters falls on my birthday.
It does?
Yes, April 7th. I turned 29 years old this year.
57 this year, huh?
52, sir. Just 52.
You feel like 57.
I feel like 67 right now.
Right.
So yeah, April 6th through 9th at Augusta. The next one on the calendar comes up at Oak Hill Country Club, May 8th. That is the PGA. And you will be happy to know Morikawa is on one of my 2. And also Will Zalatoris.
Fair.
I mean, they're probably going to lose now.
So you're looking at that type of golf course. It's an old school. I believe it's a Donald Ross. It's probably 100 years old. Very tree lined. That lends the PGA Championship of all the 4 of the majors. It lends for low scoring. So Zalatoris, if he's healthy, I really like that pick. It just depends on if it's how it's playing. The thing that's going to hurt Morikawa playing the PGA Championship in the spring in Rochester, New York, it's going to be soft. So that kills him with length-wise. They're still going to play it long, but the length is going to kill him. So I don't know if you factored that in or not, but it's going to be playing soft in Rochester, New York in May. The weather's not great, and it could be windy. Those spring days up there could be tough. So not just because, I joke around. Morikawa is fine. I have my own little issues on a personal level with him. But you got to factor in length is going to be an issue playing up there in the spring, and I just don't think he has a chance. Zalatoris does certainly have a chance, and I'll actually go back. I know I picked Cam Young for the Masters, but this is actually a perfect golf course for him, the PGA, and this might be the one he wins. I'm not going to backtrack on the Masters, but he's from that area, knows that type of grass, knows those golf courses, tree line. So maybe I backtrack a little bit and think Cam Young. I might just pick Cam Young for all the majors, to be honest with you.
Uh-oh, Grand Slam.
Might do that. But no,
I'll just write it all down right now.
Look, this is a good spot for maybe a Keith Mitchell, right?
Right.
I mean, at some point, if he really wants to play golf, if you look at the PGA Championship opposed to the other three majors, it's one of those. It's the major that, maybe the most unheralded guy wins the golf tournament, right? If you look at some of the past champions, you look at I could name a bunch of guys off the top of my head. That one that you never really heard of before. So, that could be a spot maybe as opposed to Augusta for Cam Young that gets his first major or Keith Mitchell.
All right. And then next on the calendar, we have, of course, the U.S. Open at the Los Angeles Country Club, June 15th through 18th. I once again have Schauffele on my list alongside Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah, two great picks. And here's why I say that is because you're looking at a golf course that none of these guys have played before. LA Country Club, it's new and obviously in the rotation of the U.S. Open, and it's very predominant of what these guys, the Schauffele and the Patrick Cantlay, know these types of grasses. So it's going to be a little bit of a mixture of grasses. They're going to have the rough high. So I'll go with you on that. It's the first time those guys have won a major. Mm-hmm. It's in their backyard per se a little bit. I'll go with you on that. I think those are great picks.
But you can only pick one.
But you also, I'll pick Cantlay, and here's why I say that is because he went to UCLA and he's probably played that golf course more than anyone that's going to play in the tournament.
Nice. Okay. I mean, I knew that. Of course, that's why I was.
Yeah, of course you did. Yeah, of course.
And then finally, and I will refer to it as the British Open. This is America,
of course.
My two picks, and you're probably going to hate both of these, but I do have Cam Young.
Where are they playing at?
Royal Liverpool Golf Club, July 20th through 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Young and Jordan Spieth.
Okay.
My two picks.
I don't mind those. Well, I mean, they're not terrible picks. Cam Young, I think he wins before that. I don't, even though he had success last year at St. Andrews and he almost had a chance to win the golf tournament last year, I think this is a great spot for John Rahm. That gets kind of later in the year, gets him revved up. I'm gonna put John Rahm in that spot.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I like John Rahm.
I do too.
I know he had some contentious moments towards the end of last year. Didn't he, like, with some live golf stuff? Like, wasn't he talking smack about maybe going over there?
No. He's full supporter of the PGA Tour. He was one of those guys that stood out against LIV along with Rory. He's one of those guys that didn't want that. So
I don't remember why he was in the news there towards the end of the season.
I'm going to go back to my Masters pick.
Okay. No more Cam Young.
I'm going to take Jordan Spieth.
There you go.
I think Jordan Spieth. I think he's tired of having these last 3 or 4 shitty years. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know he's working hard here in Dallas. The weather's been good so far this winter. To the rumor mill, like I said, I know he's working hard, and he's just tired of hearing it, right? And then I think he played really well in the President's Cup, I thought. So I like a good year from Jordan Spieth. I think he's going to win a major, and I think it. If it's going to be any major, he knows this golf course. He doesn't know the other ones before. I think he's got a chance to win Augusta.
I like that. It's going to be an exciting season, regardless.
Yeah.
With all these guys, and I'm real excited. You had a couple of guys that you thought might be a breakout. I know that we've talked about it off the air, who might be breakout stars this year. Are there any guys coming in from the lower tours that are going to be playing on the PGA this year that you see might be having some first year success?
Yeah, these guys are kind of seasoned already. That's the great thing about the Korn Ferry Tour is these guys are prepped to play. If you look at it like Scotty Scheffler, the year he had last year, coming off the Player of the Year from the Korn Ferry, these guys are ready to play golf. There's not much of these guys that they're scared of. So the guy's not exempt, and I've touted him last year. He got some starts last year on the PGA Tour. He's probably going to get 10 starts on the PGA Tour this year, but he's fully exempt on the Korn Ferry Tour. Man, I'm real high on Chris Gotterup. I really am. He
was on your card a couple times last year.
He was, and he fits that mold. The the mold of, you got to hit it far. He's a good putter. He's not scared. These guys coming out, they're just not scared anymore. And they're coming out ready. And he had some good success in college. Like I said, he had some starts last year on the PGA Tour. Maybe he was a little over his skis at the beginning, trying to get comfortable. But he is going to get some starts on the PGA Tour. And I think if he gets rolling, he has the length and the confidence enough to get on a roll, kind of like a Will Zalatoris did, kind of like a Scotty Scheffler did. And again, I'm super high on Cam Young. I mean, you look at him at the President's Cup, I don't think he lost a match. And here's why I tell you this. Behind closed doors, everyone on that President's Cup team wanted to play with Cam Young, sorry. Cam Young. They wanted, they like, please pair me with this guy. So they're telling you this guy's a stud, man. And this guy's got it. And now another year under his belt, comfortable out there. He's got the mentality, hits it top 10 in driving distance. Put himself in the majors. I think the guy, I said this early on JP show. I was like, I think the guy's probably going to be player of the year.
And how great would that be for him? I mean, that would just be a huge stepping stone for his career.
And if he like falls down and breaks his leg at the beginning of the year, Cam, I'm sorry, it wasn't my fault.
It was your fault.
I promise you. It's Tim's fault. It's Tim's fault.
I didn't pick him for anything except for one.
Thank God. That means you're going to have a great year, buddy.
Probably will.
Yep.
All right, very good. You want to take a quick break before we get into the Sentry?
That'd be great.
All right, we are from the rough, live from the FanStream Sports DSP Media Podcast Studios in North Dallas, and we'll be back right after this.
Hello, sports fans. FanStream Sports.
Jeeves Law Group. I've known Scott Jeeves for quite some time, and he's just like us, a huge college football fan, but he's not just another PI attorney. He is a ferocious advocate for his clients. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in Tampa Bay for over 30 years. He is an AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer and certified circuit court mediator. Folks, these designations are not just given out. They're given only to the best trial attorneys. But more than anything, Scott takes these cases personally. I've heard it from his clients. He's a fighter you want on your side. Insurance companies hate it when they see you're represented by Jeeves. He's just different. 727-894-2929 or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. That's JeeVes lawgroup.com and tell them JP sent you.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com.
Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashland Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa.
Coming back at you. Now, more Fan Stream Sports.
Welcome back to From the Rough, America's favorite golf podcast. I'm IndyCarTim. That is PGA of America member John Gerber. And, man, we're having some fun here. It's about time to get into the Sentry, though. Why everyone is here, what everybody wants to hear.
Right, get your pen and paper out. Write this stuff down, and we talk about this, and we're going to say this every week. Listen, if you guys, I put this stuff out for free for now. Everyone who's followed over the last 18 months has made money. And just send me a Christmas card. Send me, I like to drink. Send me a bottle of Tito's with all the winnings that you guys are going to have this year. Just send it to our studios. I mean, we can punch out the address. I expect gifts from everyone with all this money and all these free pictures.
We have a mail slot, one of those old-fashioned mail slots in the
do.
door. You can hand deliver it up here and just pop it through the mail slot there.
I mean, we accept gift cards.
Yeah.
We do. I mean, we accept
Especially
gift
the
cards.
liquor stores.
Yeah. Those are the best.
Yeah, because we sort of have our stash up here.
Yep.
All right, Johnny, let's get into the 2023 Sentry Tournament of Champions. Our predictions, Johnny's expert picks, the odds and best bets at Kapalua. This year we are at the Plantation Course at Kapalua in Maui. The very unstable par 73, by the way. And they promised us bigger purses for 2023, and by God, they've delivered. Do you know what the purse is at Kapalua?
$13 million.
$15 million.
Well, it was 13. I think they gave me 2 million just to talk about it. So I think
just
it's
to
really,
plug it.
It's really 13 million. So
okay.
I expect that $2 million check from the PGA Tour. It used to be the Hyundai Tournament of Champions. I think when I touted it, they gave me a car, but I didn't like the Hyundai.
Gave you a little Hyundai Elantra or something.
The Genesis is pretty nice. Is that Hyundai?
It used to be. Now it's its own car company.
They're pretty nice.
They branched off, kind of like Acura is to Honda.
Yeah.
Like Lexus is to Toyota. That Genesis is to Hyundai.
That's a nice car.
No, they're very nice. The Genesis are really, really nice, but they have their own tournament apparently out there in LA.
They do.
That Tigers tournament.
It is Tigers tournament.
Yeah.
Benefits his foundation. Yeah.
Oh, sure. I'm sure a little bit of something goes in his pocket.
Just a little.
I mean, he doesn't have any other money anyways.
No, he needs it. He needs it.
He's got kids to raise.
Yeah.
I know how that feels.
Well, kids, a kid. You said kid or kids?
Several kids.
You have a tribe to
I'm not even
raise.
sure how many I have anymore.
That you can.
Kind of gave count.
You
Gave up on counting.
again. Nancy Gerber's watching. She doesn't need to know that you have 14 kids.
I love all my kids, Nancy Gerber. There's no question. So the PGA Tour is all set. We are going to resume as the calendar is now flipped from December to January and from 2022 to 2023. The conclusion of the RSM Classic triggered a month-long break for the golfers, and now it's time for the 2023 Sentry Tournament of Champions, which will once again begin the new year. 39 of the best players in the world, winners from the 2021-2022 season, and those who qualified for the Tour Championship will make the trip to Maui, Hawaii to take on the Plantation Course at Kapalua. Rory McIlroy, the world #1, will be among those that are making the trip. Poor guy is having to go to Hawaii to play golf in January.
Rory's not playing.
Oh, he's not?
Rory's not playing.
What happened to Rory?
He opted out. He's one of. It's
When
one
did
of
that
those-
happen?
He Rory's not playing.
That had to be today that it happened then.
Rory's not playing.
Wow. Okay. Well, Rory will not be among those playing because information I had as of, I don't know, this morning said he was playing.
Well, I have more information.
Well, I'm sure you do
Rory's not playing
because you have all the insides. And I guess, yeah, I mean, obviously he can do whatever the heck he wants because he's the world number one.
I don't know if you really realize what's happened on the PGA Tour. So these elevated events, they put more money in. So you're allowed to skip one. And there's about 12 events. They've elevated the money, elevated the purses, including the majors. You're allowed to miss one. But if you Shane Lowry's not Shane Lowry. He's not Shane Lowry. He's not playing either. Who's eligible. So they can skip this one, but they can't. If they skip another one that's the elevated events, then they are not eligible for the PIP money. Right. So there's some stipulations there. So like I said, I don't know why they missed it. They're missing this one because it seems like kind of a no-brainer. To miss this one, I mean, to go to this one it's easy. Short man field they're not worried about the money. And, Hawaii's not bad this time of year, but those guys do live in West Palm. So the weather is pretty good. It's not like they're living in, Madison, Wisconsin, and they want to go there. So long story short, they'll miss this one, but look for those guys. They won't have a choice but to play in the other elevated field events.
Is there a specific reason he's skipping out on the first one?
I don't know. The calls that I made, I'm not really sure there wasn't a rhyme or reason. So I didn't get that too far in depth, but if you look at, so this tournament is going to change next year. It's going to change next year because the more money that they put in this event, there's going to be a little bit more money. But what they're going to do is they're going to take the two winners of the last 2 years that's going to be able to play to have a bigger field potentially, which they will have a bigger field because the PGA Tour season has changed after this year because after the FedEx Cup, they're going back to the tour school. There's not a wraparound season anymore. So there's going to have that. They're going to have that big break, big layoff in between tournaments. So next year it will be the winner of 2 years on the PGA Tour, just not one. And it might get you to 100 people in the field. You don't know. But this was the biggest tournament. There was a lot of scrutiny because it's the only elevated event money-wise that's a limited field. Right. So they were like, okay, we got 38 players. They're playing for 15 million. Well, they're playing for 13 and 2 million goes in, FanStream Sports. But
right.
You know what I'm saying? So there was a little bit of discrepancy with the other guys on the PGA Tour that really didn't win or won after that. So they changed that up a little bit.
Defending champion Cam Smith will not be in attendance, of course, because of his association now with Live Golf. And then our boy, Shane Lowry, did not qualify despite a strong campaign in 2022. That's a little disappointing. I might not even watch now.
He won last year.
He was unable to qualify despite a strong campaign in 2022 is what I'm seeing.
What am I missing?
I don't know. That's what it says. Huh. That's on the PGA Tour website.
I'll be damned.
So, I thought you knew things.
Well, sometimes I hit foul balls. Sometimes.
Did you just foul tip that one off?
I might have. Sometimes when there's only one pickle in the pickle jar, you just got to eat that pickle.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes
it's a big pickle jar if it's Shane Lowry.
You just don't have options,
In their place, 17 of the top 20 players in the world will compete. 2022 PGA Tour Player of the Year, Scotty Scheffler, Dallas native, has an opportunity to regain the world #1 title from McIlroy with a solo third place finish or better. He arrived at the same tournament a season ago, winless on the tour, but is now securely among the best players in the world just 12 months later. Last year's runner-up John Rahm looks to have a similar performance in 2022 when he shot 33 under. Tony Finau hopes to have a good showing. Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele, all these guys look to do well at Kapalua. So explain something to me real quick before we get into some of the odds and the stuff. Now, I'm familiar with par 70s, familiar with par 71s, familiar with par 72, of course, because that is the standard, at least in my opinion, in my eyes. Why a par 73?
Well, it's a big ballpark, first off. I mean, it's like 7,600 yards, the place. But there's so much elevation, the ball rolls. So they just have an extra par 5, really. That's really all it is. It's just an extra par 5. I mean, these guys, par doesn't get, they don't give a shit what par is. They're just trying to shoot the lowest score, but it's a benefit to them. You know, there's like a 700-yard par 5 out there, but it plays downhill. So
I could birdie that. Easy.
So you have 5 par 5s on the golf course. Like I said, most of these guys are going to get home in 2 anyways. So, you know, when these good players, greatest players in the world goes to a tournament, they don't look what par is. They don't give a shit what par
That's
is.
the first thing I look at.
I said when the greatest players in the world,
like me,
again. So
I shot 7 under on the mini course over at the Highlands Performance Golf Center, sir.
Well, that's a record because you didn't.
I did. My kid witnessed it and everything. That's right. That's got to put me up there with John Rahm.
Par's
right?
not 100 out there.
I don't know what par is. I just know I shot 7 under.
All right. You know, you got to finish the whole putt place.
It was just 3 holes, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But you know, they don't look at it that way. They, you know, if you listen to any of the PGA Tour guys, they don't, when they finish their round, they don't say they shot 3 under, 4 under. They say a score.
Yeah.
Right. So their mentality isn't of what par is. You know, if you hit the ball 400 yards in a hole is on paper is a par 5, 520, but you can get home. Is that a par 5?
It's a par 5.
No, it's not.
Oh.
So they don't think that way.
It's par 4.
So they just think about score. You know, sometimes when you score, you score.
Well, sometimes.
That's what you do.
I mean, unless, you know, you're the Cowboys playing football.
They're just trying to get the ball in the hole as fast as they can, and they don't even think about what par is. They don't even look at that number. So, you know, and I don't think people realize when you get a PGA Tour scorecard,
yeah,
there's not par on it.
Really?
It's just yardage.
So it's not the same that you get when you go play the course? It's not the same scorecard?
No, sir.
There's no par. Are you telling me on their scorecards?
Yep.
It's just hole 1 yardage, hole 2 yardage,
Yep.
hole 3. There's no par on it.
Nope.
Well, how do they measure themselves with other golfers? Please don't say by height.
What?
I mean,
a million ways.
It's a Caddyshack reference.
I know world ranking points, right? You know, that doesn't matter. No,
I think that's the wrong way for them to approach it.
Well, that's why they're.
I think they've all been playing golf wrong their entire lives now. Apparently.
I guess that's the end of the show.
I guess that's it.
I guess that's it.
You can't touch this.
So first up on our odds for the event, these odds courtesy of, where did I get these? These are courtesy of Caesar Sportsbook.
Are you going to say your picks first so I potentially can cross some of these?
Well, when we get to our picks, I'm just going to go over the odds first.
Okay.
I'm going over just the national odds, and then we can get into our picks. You're probably not going to like mine again.
Oh boy.
You know, I've got the winner, the top 10, and the top 20, which top 20 is easy in this field.
Well, there's no top 20 picks this week just because there was only 2 people in the whole field that were plus to get in the top. So I didn't even play.
There was no point in doing that.
No reason.
So at 13-2, John Rahm is the favorite on the books at the sports books. Of course, going into this tournament last year, he was the world number 1. But at 13-2, he is your favorite. Scotty Scheffler at 17-2. Schauffele at 19-2. Cantlay.
There's not 19. It's not 19-2. It's always.
That's how it's listed, sir.
That's wrong.
From Caesar Sportsbook.
They're wrong. It's never 19-2. It's always 19-1.
That's exactly what it says.
I think you meant
13-2. I'm looking right at their site.
They're wrong. They're
All
wrong.
right. Well, we're going to go based on what they say.
I mean, what has Caesar ever done?
That's true.
I mean,
screwed up Rome.
It's wrong. Didn't
he screw up Rome?
Of course he did.
Yeah.
You can't say 2. It's got to be 1. Just 13-1. It doesn't matter. We ain't doing 2s on this show.
Would 13-2 be the same as like 6.5-1?
No, it's 13-1. It's not 13-2.
Then why does it say 2?
Because it'd be 2. That means they're paying for half their money. You pay $2 or $13. It's
okay.
1. There's never odds in the PGA Tour. They messed up. They just launched some new sports apps, so they messed up. Trust me, it's not 2.
Patrick Cantlay at 10-1.
It's not 2.
No, it's 10 to actually
okay.
10-1.
Oh, this one's actually 1 now.
Justin Thomas at 11-1. So what they're saying is that 13-2. Well, I guess it is. That would be accurate.
Yep, pass.
Better than 10-1. Justin Thomas 11-1. Finau 14-1. M 16-1. Hovland 18-1. Your buddy Morikawa 18-1. Cameron Young 20-1. Tom Kim 20-1. Jordan Spieth at 22-1. That seems like he's probably just What's Jordan Spieth's deal with this course? He's not expected to play well, is he?
No, he never really does play well out there. I don't know why he doesn't play well there.
Jordan Spieth at 22-1, Matthew Fitzpatrick at 22-1, and Sam Burns at 25-1. So you want to get into our picks then for everybody?
That'd be great.
Have everybody a good laugh. So my picks, I give my picks before Johnny's because my picks are for entertainment purposes only.
We need to find a new sponsor for these picks too.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, it's we wore them out last year, our old sponsor, and we decided to cut ties with them because we're just winning too much. Right?
Yeah, they wanted us. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So we won't into who the sponsor was.
Yeah, they cut us off.
Yep, because we were winning too much.
That's right.
Stole our account and everything.
They did.
So my pick, as we go into the first tournament of the season, I have Patrick Cantlay as my winner.
That's good for me.
In my top 10, I've got Sung J M for my top 10.
Oh, I'm screwed. Thanks, Tim. Thank you, Tim.
So again, mine are for entertainment purposes only. Sometimes ours crisscross here a little bit, and that's usually a bad sign for Johnny.
Usually, it's not usually. It's always.
Usually.
There's usually and always. It's 100% always wrong. So
let's get into Johnny's, and since it's not sponsored, it'll be sponsored by FanStream Sports and DSP Media. How's that?
Right. That's right. You want to run that?
I just did.
Okay, that's it.
That's all I got.
Yeah, we're gonna start the year off with winners. We won this tournament last year. Coming straight out the gate with Cam Smith. We did pick Cam Smith, so we started off the year fantastic last year, and I really think we're going to do the same this year. I really like JT. If you listen to him talk, his interviews, what he's talking about now in the fall, he really felt he had a disappointing year, even though he won a major. So in his eyes, I think he's going to have a bounce back year now to the public. He won 3 times last year, guys, but he feels like it was a disappointing year. So I think he's been working hard down in West Palm Beach. I think this is a great start of the year. And JT has won this tournament twice. And every time he's won it, it's been every third year. And what is it this year?
The third year.
It's his third year.
Yeah.
So I think it's, the third time's a charm. It's going to be third time for the third time is a charm for JT at 12-1. So I really like him. Second pick in the box this week is Sung J M at 20-1. You look at a guy, when I handicap this event, I look at guys who's I've had to study a little bit to find out who's really playing golf. It's an off season. Are these guys enjoying their family? Are they playing golf, or what are they doing in the off season? But Sung J M's a guy that's all this guy does is play golf. So he's going to come in this tournament with a lot of reps, having a good game plan, and not rusty. So I like him at 20-1. Our third guy in the slot this week at 33-1 is Sahith Theegala. You look at a guy, I look for him to have a really good year this year. Second year on the PGA Tour, sets the mold of every, long hitter, puts it well. Now another year under the belt, kind of like Cam Young is. He's going to really I really think he's going to have a breakout year. And he won the team championship with Tom Hoagie here in the fall. So anytime you can win on the PGA Tour, it kind of breeds winning. Even though it was a team event, I think he's going to have that confidence to build through the year. And this is a perfect golf course for him. It's you can hit it long and wrong out there. And if you can hit it far, 5 par 5s with this guy is going to have iron. So look at him to have a chance to win, especially with the confidence coming from the fall. So our ham sandwich pick, Russell Henley at 50-1. Great success in Hawaii. Back in this tournament for the first time in a couple years. He'll self-admittingly loves playing in Hawaii. He won Sony a couple times. So the success on this golf course that he's had before, hits the ball plenty far to compete, and he knows the nuances and quirkiness to this golf course, which it is. It's one of the quirkiest kind of weird golf courses on the PGA Tour. So guys who played there before and play well, they kind of know the bounces and the rolls. So look for Russell Henley to contend at 50-1. No top 20 picks this week just because it's a limited field. We didn't get any good odds that we liked. There was only 3 guys in the field that were plus numbers to finish in the top 20 with a 38-man field. So there's a reason why you kind of stay off of that. But we do have 3 top 10 picks this week. Hideki Matsuyama at plus 210. Always plays well out here. I know he's been kind of working hard in the offseason. A disappointing year for him. I think one of the best ball strikers in the world. Look for him to start the year off with some good success in Hawaii. hits the ball plenty far, doesn't really need to hit it straight. And I think it's a good tune-up for him to finish in that top 10. Keegan Bradley at plus 240. I like him in the top 10 this week. Another guy that I know he's been working hard on his game down in West Palm Beach this winter. I think he's got limited years back on the PGA Tour. So for him to get in this tournament and get off to a hot start, I think it's important for Keegan Bradley, especially as, his years on the PGA Tour potentially could be limited as he gets older. And then the same category with Adam Scott. He's in our third slot here in the top 10 at plus 320. He's worked harder on his game this winter than he has probably in the last 5 or 6 years. He played a couple tournaments down in Australia in the fall, which he hasn't done in the last few years. He's working hard on his game in the Bahamas and in Albany. So, a guy who potentially has limited 3 or 4 really good years on the PGA Tour, I think he's motivated a little bit to have a good year, and I like him in our third spot at plus 320 and finishing in the top 10.
Awesome. So there you are, folks, golf betting fans. That's already posted on Twitter if you need to go back and look at it. Johnny, like we mentioned at the top of the show, we'll put those on Twitter for you, Facebook, on the Instagram feed as well, all the social media places, including the From the Rough Facebook page. So go find us over there if you're interested. Make sure it's the new year. I'll say it again. Now's your chance to get in on the picks and to follow the system, because if you're not following, you're not winning.
And we'll talk about this. And I try to express this to everyone. It doesn't matter if you bet $1. It doesn't matter if you bet $5, $10, whatever you play, follow the system every week. Because there's going to be weeks that we don't cash a ticket. There's going to be weeks that we have great success. And 9 times out of 10, we're going to cash those tickets. So don't take weeks off. If your budget is $1 per play, so you have $9 or $10 per the week plus our matchups, that's fine. It doesn't matter if it's 5. It doesn't matter. Follow the system every week, and you'll be profitable for the year.
There it is. So we will be back next week. Johnny and I will, maybe with a guest. We're not sure yet. We're not sure if we want to share the airwaves with anybody yet.
We'll see. We got more people watching than we've had in a long time.
800,000 people watching the show right now.
Yeah, but we've been off for a few weeks too. So they must need us. Need a little from the rough in their life.
Everybody needs a little from the rough in their life. That might be our new catchphrase.
All right, I love it
for the show. We're going to trademark that. We will be back next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Time here on the FanStream Sports Facebook page, YouTube page, Twitter feed, all of that stuff. We will see you next week, boys and girls. Appreciate you. And we'll be back, as I don't know how to dismount this horse.
Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Highlands Performance Golf Center, North Dallas's premier golf practice facility with over 65 grass tees, 2 practice putting surfaces, a short game area, and an 18-hole mini golf course. With covered and heated tees, it's the best place to practice your game year-round. The Highlands Performance Golf Center is located in Carrollton on Trinity Mills, in between Marsh and Midway. Give them a call at 972-733-4111 or check them out on the web at highlandspgc.com.